Hi again, welcome back to Right to Right. I'm Cara. This week I'm talking about my word for the year, which is for 2015, which is growth. Now, a big part of me using and coming to terms with this word is for me to actually overcome a lot of fears, one of which is running these videos. But I knew it was something that I wanted to do and something that I needed to do for my business. So this week I actually wanted to talk to you about fears. Now, it can be personal fears, but I'm really talking to you about fears in business. This has come up a fair bit over the last couple of weeks with other business owners that I know or business owners that I see chatting online. So I'm going to draw on my studies in psychology to help you overcome or address some of the fears, or help you address some of the fears that you might have as a business owner. So the first fear that a lot of people talk about is fear of technology, ironically enough, but I see most of this online. So I've come across a lot of people that say to me, oh my goodness, I don't know, or I'm afraid of establishing a website or starting up a Facebook page for my business or starting up a Facebook group or starting to blog or doing videos. I'm just so afraid. Look, fear's great, but when it comes to technology, and this is the reason why I'm doing this first, guess what? You're not going to break it. That's the thing about technology. Yes, I've been developing websites now for 15 years, and yes, I've had a Facebook page for the last nearly 5 years now. But the thing is that things have changed, times changed, and if you can run a word processing piece of software and you can drag and drop, you can run a website. And if you can do those, you can certainly run a Facebook page. So what it really comes back to is the fears that lie behind that. So I'm not good enough. People aren't going to like me. People aren't going to buy my products. What will other people say? Oh my goodness. Those kinds of things. Now, there are a few tools that I use to actually overcome those fears personally. So the first one is a tool that psychologists use, and it's called cognitive behavioral therapy. Now, I'm not going to take you through the full program. I'm not trained to do that. I have been through it personally, and I have studied it as well. The bit that I want to talk to you about is the mindfulness part of it. And I've spoken about mindfulness before on my blog. So the thing about fear and CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy or mindfulness, is what you do is you acknowledge the fear, you see it. It's like running into a friend at the shops and they're running late for an appointment. So you see the friend or the fear, you acknowledge it, hi, how you going? And then they race off. And the fear takes off and you don't give it another thought, not another minute of your time. You acknowledge it, you see it there, you go, hi, how you going? I see you there, see you later. Now, some people will put the fear on a cloud. Personally, I put my fear on a boat. I don't know why I chose a sailing boat. Some people put them on planes. Look, you can even give it a face. Whatever works for you. Just acknowledge the fear and see that thing sailing right by. The other thing that I use, and I've learnt this from a great friend of mine, Sonia from Sonny Lee Designs. She introduced me to a mnemonic for fear, which is false evidence appearing real. So this works really well with the cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's actually technically part of it. So what it is acknowledging your fear, okay, and looking at it and going, well, actually, is there really any evidence that it is going to go wrong? That I am going to be a failure? That people are going to laugh at me? That I am going to break the internet? What's the evidence? Generally, there's none. If you have planned what you're doing well and you've looked through, I'm one for making lists. If I'm going to make a really big decision, I'll make a pros and cons list. So if the benefits of you undertaking this thing that you're afraid of outweigh the risks, then geez, there's nothing really to be much afraid of. So that's a great one. False evidence appearing real. I love that mnemonic. The next thing I use is 2 quotes that I personally use. The first one is, don't worry about what other people think, because generally they don't. Okay? So it sounds arrogant, I know. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of people can't get inside your head. In fact, no one can. So they don't know other people, so the people that you're worried about that are going to laugh at you and those kinds of things, they don't know where you're coming from. They don't know the research that you've done, and they certainly don't know your background, your beliefs, your values, the things that drive you. So guess what? They can't think like you. And generally, they're actually coming from their own perspective. They're coming from a point of their own fears. So this ties in with the other one. What other people think of me is none of my business. Now, this was one that I used a lot in 2014, and I'm still using in 2015. So, what other people think of me is none of my business. It's the flip side to the first one. So it's all about you realizing that they've got their own belief system and their own values and their own experiences. And what you can't impose what you think on them. So you can't actually really worry about what they think of you. All right? So it boils down to, if your fear is technology, don't worry, you can't break it. If you've acknowledged the fear and seen it sailing through, if you've gone through the facts, that you've done your research, you know what you're doing. And if you've stopped worrying about what other people think or what other people might say, and this is that thing, they might say it or they might think it. It comes back to a fundamental thought that I use, and I actually used it when I filmed my first video. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Seriously. Feel the fear and just do it anyway. Because you know what? What if you fail? Yep. So you've learned. But geez, what if you actually succeed? All right, so I hope this has helped you addressing some of the fears that you might feel in business. And I look forward to checking in with you in coming episodes with Right to Write. See ya.